you handle like something serious? Like, do you actually make a joke out of things all the time, or laugh
But
at things all
I think the
the time?
biggest mistake, right? The biggest mistake that, I think, and I think it may only happen like that with comedians. That
Okay.
like for are you always a doctor? Are you always an engineer? Are you always a teacher? I think the biggest, because you're an entertainer and or you're a comedian, people have a perception that you're not balanced, that everything is a joke, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they fail to realize, like, subhanAllah, like so many comedians have contributed so much to politics, their thought process of what happens from them being an observer or finding humor in dark situations and light situations, and just the way that their brain have been trained to find a different perspective of what we all are looking at, to be able to provide it to an audience that will make them laugh. So I mean, unfortunately, there's you
It's
it
not a
comes with
problem.
it. Yeah, but it comes with the job. We don't I find that us with comedians, like, because we make you laugh, well, we're not clowns,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is a big difference, like, oh, some kid is crying and you just but we don't, I mean, I don't mind that for myself. Like, I don't mind, being underestimated. There's power in being underestimated. You know what I mean?
But
I just
you don't want to take things seriously then. If you got a problem, you're not gonna joke about it at home. Well, I mean, sometimes you probably joke about it,
right,
right?
yeah. I mean, and I think that's like, if you got a problem, you got to address the problem. I mean, like, even if those individuals, they'd be like, I don't mind you not taking advice from me. I don't even know you well enough to desire to want to give you advice. I only answer a question if people ask me a question.
Right.
Otherwise, I'm minding my own business, and I'll have fun when I'm at work. My
Yeah.
job is to share some things that made me laugh, looking at things on a lighter note, and then maybe you'll laugh with me. But even for every comedian, there's another group of people who would not agree that that person is funny. So
Yeah.
every comedian is not for everybody. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's right. Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
it just depends on who he connects with, why he connects with it. Now, I like to have fun. I
I know.
love for people to have the fun side. So people, I'm grateful. People don't really get to see the other side of me because, I mean, you're not in my house.
Right.
But I would say that every human being has layers. You know,
Yes. True.
we all, and it's up to us to find a balance with inside of our own individual selves. But I mean, I don't do it for people.
But
What I
yeah.
mean? I'm just me. If I'm around people, like, I adapt to my environment. So if I'm around people or so, and people like, hey, we want to have some fun, then that might inspire me also to have some fun. But also, and it also depends on, I'm not comfortable around everybody either.
Yeah. But you
So
know what? You're such an outgoing guy. And like when I first met you, I don't know if it was at RIS or where it was, but you had a magazine at a stand. Do you remember that? You had a
I
stand with a magazine, right? I think I had the magazine. I was looking for it and I couldn't find it. It's somewhere in my house. And you
did.
said, "Oh, can I get your autograph? Is that you?" And you're like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't know you at that time. I don't think I did because after a while, we sat down and we started talking. And you told me you're a comedian. I think you're performing that day there at RIS,
Yes, 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 yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. Yep,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So you're such an outgoing guy and so funny, and it's like it's good when you take things like lighthearted and you're like not serious all the time. And there's some guys who are like you can't approach. You're a very approachable person, so it's like it's
Because
good to
you know
have.
what, but this is very important, and I wanted to be able to say this. I find that I don't really like this whole being growing up as Muslim
Right,
and
right.
being taught some of what the prophet, knowing that this man was a prophet of God, that was angels visit him to give him communication, and that he was open to always be able to speak to people. He didn't even take to say, like, this whole I'm a celebrity. And I'm making the connection because being in Hollywood, working in filmmaking, working as a comedian, where you have like what they call quote unquote fans, right? Um, him, I'm happy to know this about him, to read this about him, about, you know, we are all the same.
Right.
I'm a
Yep.
reflection of you. So I never want to adopt this whole thing of I am. Who are you? Who wants to speak to me? And with that type of attitude, you know, I can do that being cautious because I have to be careful, right? But I don't want to have that, you know, that type of inside of me where that now you think you're above someone else or you think you're better than someone else. So um I mean, I like the example that we have, and then I like, oh, how Allah has made me and my personality at the same time, where, you know, you just look at everybody as a reflection of yourself, and you're not too distracted by what Allah blessed me to be able to do and the love that Allah has blessed me to receive from my fellow human beings. It just keeps it's inspiring. So if we change the you know, how we look at things, and then make sure that you're not allowing that stuff to go to your head, which is a constant struggle. I find that even among our circles as artists, we talk about this a lot. How do you stay grounded, um,
Yeah.
you know, without all of those, I want green M&Ms and I want my own room. And, you
Oh
know,
yes,
but
yes.
sometimes, but I also had to get to the point where I did have to ask for my own room,
Yeah. Oh, okay.
because you know, privacy is also important. Like in the beginning, they used to like to put you and you share a room with another
Oh,
brother, right? And you
yeah.
know, you have to, that means you share the bathroom, you share the, so it started getting out that I'm a diva because I was like, no, I got to get my own room, right? I was
Oh,
like,
you know what? You're not the only one. Okay. I've dealt with some people who wanted their own rooms. Okay. Not just that. I can list a few things that they demanded. And I was like, what? I'm not even gonna say anything. So,
they want to
but
get the green M&Ms. Only green. Pick out,
okay,
someone has to pick out all the M&Ms and put them in the,
oh
because the Prophet ﷺ loved the color green. That's what.
my God. Yeah.
Excuses for narcissism, if you will.
Not just that. There were some people, I swear, like when I was working with, some of them actually want a specific hotel to go to. Okay. And it's like, no, I don't want to stay in this hotel, or is this where you're gonna take me? And I'm like, where do you expect to go? You know, it's like it's they have a different mentality. Like when I think when they get too high, or I usually say too high up in the air, head in the clouds kind of thing, it's like they expect, everything grand. But if you're like a little organization who's just trying to, get you to perform and do your stuff, and we did give you what we can give you, it's like, why not appreciate that, right? But no, they're back.
Okay, so there's another side to that, right? Because there's certain organizations who take advantage of the kindness that some
Yeah.
artists and speakers have, and they just will be looking to save $20 to $30, and that $20 to $30, or say $25 to $50, say $100. They'll be
Okay.
looking to save $100 that they will put them inside of an environment or a hotel, and in a cheaper hotel, generally what happens is the clientele is not a good environment. So
Yeah.
imagine, for example, if you was to put a Suhaib Web or so inside of a Motel 6 to save $100, but in that Motel 6, these are attract a different clientele, and now the noise that's happening, you don't feel safe. You're not in a decent environment. So
Yeah.
and then they only really care about like look, we're a nonprofit, so we got to put you over there. So there's a learning curve for both sides.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
sometimes I would say perhaps they not being, some of them were maybe not intending to be divas, but they just had to put their foot down because I had to do this on another side. Like I started saying, hey, wait, I can't, because the noise, haram, at night, people are bumping, people are smoking, people are, things happen in a lower cost hotel, right? Things happen that may not happen, or you can call at a higher number of hotel to have a different peaceful environment. Now, there's a difference between asking for the presidential suite. You're only going to be there for a day. Haram, right? This is too much, right? Don't do this. But I always was trying to tell organizations, if it's the difference with $100, and I can definitely be, and it's not far, I will be in an environment that's a little bit more business as opposed to, so there's that side of it at the same time. What I started doing was just including a flat rate so that I can take it. Oh, also, subhanAllah, with the
Oh yeah,
flights
a
too.
whole long list.
Right. Also with the flights. I had to start doing this with the flights too,
Yeah.
because um, you get points when you fly.
Right.
And when you fly, what happens is it makes your travel easier. Going into security, coming out of security, where you sit, like, sometimes you'll be just sitting 4 hours in the middle seat. If you're like, if everybody was just, and it may be the difference with $100.
Yeah.
You'll be like, I'll pay that $100 so that I can be a little bit more comfortable on a flight, because I
Yeah.
understand organization may be small, but
Right.
I would promise you, I tell you that generally you can find things within $100 of all the same price. And even the organization would be like, oh, I didn't know that. But it sounds, if it's written down, it sounds bad. So it has to be like some open communication
Yeah.
there, because there is another side to
Yeah.
that coin. It's like, oh man, that's so bad.
Yeah.
So
So
on both sides, some artists take advantage, some organizations take advantage, and
yeah.
somebody has to stay inside of the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot. That you're right. You're really right. And I think that's the problem is again communication. It comes down to communication, right? Like
Yes.
if you're not talking, just writing down the stuff and you're passing it on, and you treat them like what, oh these guys are divas or this or that. You gotta communicate and let each other know exactly. Listen to each other. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I
Yes.
think that will probably solve the problem. But there are some organizations I do believe that do take advantage. I know that as well. So I
You can
understand where you're
also find by what they're saying too.
Yes.
You can
Yes.
tell by the tone. It always helps. Like, no, otherwise I'm not coming. If you don't have green M&Ms with
Yes.
glitter on them, I will not arrive. Right. So I learned that also with a good friend, Maher Zain,
Yes.
that they were like, I mean, I saw Maher Zain. I mean, Maher Zain is bigger than me, but they were staying in hotels that I totally disagree with, right?
Oh,
on
yeah.
this, on my second tour, I was like, guys, we cannot be in these hotels. And we all had the same stories in the morning.
Oh no.
In the morning, we all had the same stories. And they were all on different floors. It was 13 of us. And I was
Oh,
like, guys, this is having that experience. It was like, we're all Muslim. We're in an environment that is just not okay. Like, I mean, what's this doing to us? We have to communicate to them.
yes. Yeah.
And, at first it was like, no, we're going to seem like this. I don't want us to seem like we're like this. I was like, dude. And because it was 13 rooms, they just went along with the contract. But because that would cost, that means they needed maybe $50 per more room to put us in a different. And so I just was like, if they knew, because generally, organizations, they're not staying in those hotels. They
Yeah.
just
No.
organize it. They don't know what the environment is. But I think it helped also when we started, what you said, communicating. And I said, guys, I'm not trying to be a diva, but I
Right.
can't, I don't want to be in this environment. And then once you build a relationship between the artists and the right organizers, then you understand that it's not coming from you know, from an arrogant place.
That's it. Yeah. That's good. Well, at least you got the word out, so that's good. They know now, hopefully. So,
Yeah, I mean, but it doesn't matter. It comes with the territory. So
yeah,
somebody is gonna say,
yeah.
"Oh, Omar Regan is just he got to stay in Hilton and he wants to fly Delta." He is like, I'm like, I do though. I do. I do
Right.
want to fly Delta, and I looked it up,
Yeah.
and it's only a difference between $150. I'll work extra for that.
Right.
But you don't want me not in the mood,
Yeah.
like, because
That's
what I had to, yeah, what I had to deal with, on my way here, you know. So
one last thing about this whole thing. What about the transportation? Like, I mean, did you ever find difficulties with transportation? I know there are some organizations that have artists where some of them roll up in really nice transportation, and some are like, okay.
Listen, I learned something, subhanAllah. I learned something as I was an organizer.
Did you ever take the bus? Sorry, I have to.
Oh,
You ever take a bus?
let me tell you what happened to me. This is it happened on my watch.
Oh, okay.
So I was filming my first film. I had a whole team of people, right? And I'm the writer and the director and the producer, right? So I wore like several hats, and I'm the actor, I'm the star of the film. So they was like, okay, Omar, let us handle this. You have people coming in town to be in your movie, right? Let us handle this. I was like, okay, listen, guys, I have the Michael Jackson of Pakistan coming to be in my film. This was Junaid Jamshid, Allah yarhamu. He flew into Detroit to be in my film. Because they told me they would handle it, I was like, okay, I'll let y'all handle it. And I gave them who the guy is. They sent a production assistant in a Hyundai accent that had been in an accident, and the production assistant had shorts on and tank tops to pick up Junaid Jamshid and Freeway from the airport in Detroit.
Wow.
Man, it hurt my feelings so much that they did that, because that was a reflection of me. Well, Junaid Jamshid, Allah yarhamu, he saw this, he turned around, he went back and got on the plane.
Oh no, he did? Oh my God.
I understood why.
Oh
because Allah had blessed, like Junaid Jamshid, Allah has really truly blessed him. Like it shows that you don't even respect him, that you would send a woman who doesn't even have, she's not even covered.
Oh, sorry, okay, so it's a woman. I'm thinking a guy in the shorts, and so it's a woman.
It was a woman.
Oh no!
And
Oh my!
tank top and shorts, and a small car that had an accident. I don't think that it was more about the car, because I know this guy, he's a real, more than it was the driver. Yes. Like, I have to get in the car with this person. Like, it hurt my feelings, but I was filming, so I was expecting. I was like, okay, where is he? Did he do? And then that's when I got the news. What in the world? Haram, this guy, these people did this to me. And so I learned also that you need to try, one of the lessons that I did, try to match the person. You get an idea of who the individual is. And I knew, like, if we just had a decent driver, a decent car,
Yeah.
It does. I don't think that he was looking to be in a Mercedes, or he's not even that kind of guy. This guy is, Allah bless him. He's so amazing. But it just was a bad representation of me. And then I didn't have him in my film because of it. So it cost me a lot. I learned a very valuable lesson. It changed my whole movie, and I had to do it right then and there.
Did you get a chance to talk to him and maybe apologize for
No, I did not get a chance to talk to him. I only talked to his friend who was with him, who's Canadian, by the way, Khalid. And I only talked to him, and they was trying to be so nice. No, it's okay. He's got an important meeting. He had to go. He couldn't stay. I knew better. They were just trying to be nice, but I did not get to talk to him ever again.
In your heart, you were sorry for that.
In my heart, I do, and I pray that in my dream. Yeah. But that was extremely learning lesson for me. So I would tell even organizations, you don't have to go all out, but you do have to put some type of energy in it. Don't be so lax.
So I have to ask you something before we wrap up. I know we have COVID going on, and let's say post-COVID. Do you think you'll be coming to Toronto anytime soon? Do you have anything lined up? Because I want to see you again.
I have friends over there. I'm in this film. Allah bless Boona Muhammad for casting me in this film. I want to see it, but it all got pushed back. So I definitely want to get to Toronto ASAP the minute this pandemic goes away, because I want to watch the film with everyone inside of a theater. I'm doing a voiceover character. I think everybody's gonna love this movie. That from Boona Muhammad.
What's the name of the movie? Can you do that or no? Yeah.
Super. I can do that. It's super hijabi.
It's kind of cool. Yeah.
Oh,
I
it's
like
really good. It's got Ilyas. Plus, Ilyas is there, which I have a project with Ilyas Mao. He's in Guelph, but you can't fly into Guelph.
no.
Right? I was
Right.
like, I had never heard of a Guelph. But subhanAllah, like I've done a big event in Guelph. Like there's a lot of Muslims over there. I had no idea. Like,
You know what? I never been there, so
have you been to Scarborough? Have you been to
I've only
Scarborough?
I'm only in the scrub. Wait, I can't see where I am. Wait. I'm in Ontario.
Okay.
Area. I don't give out my location.
I understand. That's right. Keep it private.
Anywho, yes, yeah, I know I haven't
But
been to Guelph.
I do plan to get. I mean, it's a few filmmaker friends that I have over there. That I mean, we've been knowing each other for a while, and I
Right.
love the projects that they've been working on, Muslims, and the stories that they've been
You
wanting
know,
to
I
tell.
always wanted to be in a movie, like a comedy show or something. I want to be like
Yeah,
a
listen. But this is why
ninja.
we're building Halalywood, Shakera. Like we need you, okay?
Can you give Can you give me a role?
Yeah, we need you. We need you. Jump on this side.
I'll talk to my husband first.
Right. Joe, listen. Here's the idea, right? You talk to your husband, but I want you to talk to your husband in this way to
Right.
say, we need a halal romantic comedy. So we
Oh
will be having to cast
my
husband
God.
and wives, right? I don't know what your love story is.
Oh,
But we make and take that, and then you guys would be on set
yeah.
saying with actors that's not you, but they'll be like, that's not what I said. I want to say this. That's not what I did. So the story could be inspired by you.
That's a good idea. You know what? That's a good idea. We'll have to
Yeah.
talk about this. I
And
like
we need hundreds of halal romantic comedies.
yeah, right. Oh, I don't know about halal romantic, but I'm more like an action girl. I don't like romantic movies. So I like action, fighting, all those kind of sequence kind of movies.
Okay, no worries. All right, we'll switch it up then.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
Yeah, and you know what I like about filmmaking, Shakira, and I feel like you have that vibe. You can live out some different ideas that was inside of you, and
Yes,
but
that's why.
you just live it out right there inside of this film. Like it's like, oh, I can put everything inside of this character, and I can go back to being myself.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
I used to want to. I used to want to be like, oh, shoot guns, but don't shoot nobody. So it's
Right.
film, you can do it. I don't want to hurt
That's
anybody.
right. And it's not real. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
One last question. I love the movie Rush Hour 2, and I know you were I know this is like off track, but you were a stunt double for Chris Tucker. What scene were you like stunt doubling for? I'm just trying to.
So I was so
What
so not to
movie
take
did
any
you do?
credit away from I was doing away from the stunt double. That guy was amazing. Like he was insured. So they called me the photo double.
The
So
photo.
as doubling for Chris Tucker, I had to do the scene where the glass exploded and the guy falls out of the window, and then he say he ain't gonna be in Rush Hour 3, right?
Yes, yes, I saw this. Yes.
So yeah,
Are you
right.
the
So I had to do that. I also had to do the scene where I was running through the casino, right when he was fighting Zhang Zi.
right?
Yeah. So I had to do that scene. I had to do the kick out scene, the running scene. Oh, we did a lot of running
Yeah,
scenes.
that
Yeah,
was you
yeah.
doing the running, not Chris Tucker.
I was doing them.
He was doing the running.
It was three of us, right? It
And
was
you're
three of
acting
us.
like the guy somehow he's running so much. It's not really him. It's you.
Especially when they show the legs, because
Yes, those are
they give the stunt double a break when it's not
right.
dangerous, right?
Yeah,
They give the actor a break.
right.
They use the guinea pig.
Oh,
So
we
if
did
they're
all
not gonna see the face, and then the
right.
stunt double, this guy, he's so good. Like he does all the dangerous stuff, or hanging on the side of the car, the moving car. He does the fighting scene, like holding on to the rope.
Yeah,
Yeah, this guy is. And when Chris Tucker has to fall,
right.
but they're not gonna get his face. So
Yeah,
yeah, and then he does all the dangerous stuff. Me, I do all of the semi-dangerous, because they save the actress, like the glass is gonna explode. Put Omar there, because if the glass explodes and hurts the main actor, then you know what? That's gonna be bad for the movie and production. Put Omar
Right.
there. Then we don't
Oh,
need the stunt guy here because we need him for the other stunts. But this guy, we'll get another one. That's so I'm grateful that being a Chris Tucker's photo double has highlighted my career.
yeah. And you know
As
what? And that's the funny thing because every time they hear Omar Regan, a lot of people tend to join your name with the stunt double for Rush Hour 2, and I could see why now. You did
yeah,
a lot of work in that movie.
I believe it's a mercy. It's a law's mercy for me because in
Wow.
Hollywood, the photo double is a throwaway.
Yeah,
But in the Muslim bubble, this is a big deal.
it is. It is. Well, you know what? That's a great movie. I saw it like about 100 times. And I'm gonna watch it again, but this time I'm gonna look for your scenes.
Yeah. You,
I'm
and
gonna
it, and good luck, because even when I watch, they do so well with the cuts and the edits because
yeah.
you're not supposed to see my face.
Yeah. So now I'm gonna see it now. See what they
Yeah,
did?
you'll be like, oh wow, he was up there. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then they bring Chris Tucker in to say his lines.
So
But
wait,
it was
did you actually talk like work with him side by side? Because I know sometimes you don't always get to be side by side with the actual actor unless you're like doing
I'm
a scene with them.
so grateful that I did get to be side by side with him. I'm grateful that even when I had got dressed up, that he told me to play this prank on Jackie Chan before Jackie Chan saw, and he was like, "What? This guy looks just like you, just a little shorter." It was
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
it was nice to be in the in circle with the main stars, especially for me of the having the dream. And then Chris Tucker was being one of my inspirations of comedy. I loved him from Def Comedy Jam of how he could just be himself and tell his comedy. I was like, wow, this was crazy to be standing right here with him. So it
what
was
about
good.
Jackie Chan? Did you meet Jackie Chan? Did you get to work with
I
him?
met
Like,
Jackie Chan, but now listen, this was another story because Jackie Chan, what even made Jackie Chan, what outside of the fact that, because I met Jackie before I got the photo double, uh,
okay,
and I told Jackie one of my biggest inspirational films was Shaolin Wooden Men,
yeah,
and this was when Jackie Chan was a mute and couldn't talk the whole movie until the end.
yeah,
And he played a serious character. He didn't, usually Jackie Chan would play the fun character. He played a very serious character, but I just fell in love with that movie and the character. So when I told him that, he instantly looked at me different and was like, Shaolin Wooden Men. Oh, and then everybody came around, Shaolin Wooden Men, yeah, right. Because his English wasn't all of that great, so he was speaking in Chinese.
yeah.
Right. And then after that, that's when now Jackie Chan has been like before Chris Tucker. We was watching Kung Fu movies when I was little.
Oh, yeah.
So to be there with Jackie Chan was amazing. I had like a double inspiration of
Wow. Nice.
okay. I thought I made it until when I didn't know that I was a throwaway. It wasn't Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker's making the decision. It, it was the production, right? So I was like, okay, so I'm going to Hong Kong, right? So where do I get my? They was like, oh no, we're fine. We'll have a photo double there. I was like, oh,
Oh,
y'all gonna leave me?
oh.
So it was a reality kick in. So I believe that the mercy of how everyone knows that Omar Regan was a double for Chris Tucker. I'm really honored by that because in Hollywood nobody cares.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? Who cares about them? We'll talk about the ones who care about you. And you did a good
That's
job.
right. That's
Amazing.
right.
You know what? And I'm so glad because now I really, really, I told you I have to go look at that movie now and check it out again. And thank you so much. I know it's been a while. We've been talking for a while now. I know you're a busy man and you made the time to talk to me. So I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so
No, I'm
much.
really grateful. I'm excited for your show. I love this talk to
Um,
Shakera. Thank you for blessing me. Thank you for inviting me to be here.
it was fun. It was fun. Listen, make sure you write me down and for your next film, okay? I will talk to my husband about it, okay? And we'll do something, right?
All right,
Inshallah.
sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah. You take care. Be safe. Say salam to your family. And thanks again. We'll talk again soon. Take care of yourself.
All right,
Keep
for
in touch.
sure. Shukran. Thank you, Salam.